So I just finished my session with a physical therapist, and it was painful. Got the hiccups, but she's really happy with my progress, which I am too. But obviously, there's a ways to go, especially sideways. I'm able to go up and down, not too bad from the front, but from the side, I'm still having issues. I mean, it's way better than it was initially, but I'm nowhere near where I need to be. So, got upgraded to pulleys. I think it's better because it's less painful. You know, when I try to force it to hold it up, it hurts. With the pulley, it hurts, but at least the arm that's not hurting can pull down, and the other arm just relax. Basically, I'm supposed to just relax this arm to make the muscles not move, not contract and stuff. The muscles are supposed to just relax, and they're trying to get it to the range of motion that's normal. Normally you can, like, see this arm, I can go anywhere, any which way. So this arm, the muscles kick in and start locking up. But it's not the muscles that are really locking. There's I forget what they call it, but it's this round stuff that's not muscle, but it's what's locking up. It's like crusting over or whatever. So trying to loosen that up so that my arm has its full normal range. Anyhow, I appreciate all of you who are taking time to comment about my plan to make money. And I know it's gambling. It might even come down to just gambling. Like, gotta gamble. Or the other option is not to gamble, but then I can't reach my goal. Because if I play the stock market, which I've been doing, now I am switching over to my stocks that pay dividends, and then collecting the dividends and putting it back in until the point where I actually officially retire, when I'm no longer working. But it's gotta make a lot of money, and the problem with that is, I think by any normal calculations, you need probably over $100,000 in the stocks to have any sort of money coming in. I don't think I can have $100,000. I don't think I can get $100,000 into those dividend-paying stocks to be able to give me a salary. Now, the way things are right now, where I am financially, I'm way better than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But I'm not where I need to be. About 5-6 years ago, I was still officially homeless. I had bad credit, didn't really have anything, didn't have a job per se. I mean, I had still working the daily work, with the temp agency. So I was getting some money in, but it wasn't enough to actually try to pay for even living. Now, between then and now, we've got a house that's paid off. The only thing I really need to pay on it is taxes, annual taxes, and electricity and water. Although I have an expenditure that just shot way up, that doubled, and that was internet. They had me on the internet, the government subsidized internet for poor people, where it was like $20 a month, and then it jumped up to $49 a month. And now, as of this month, it's jumping up to $79 a month. Like, what the heck happened? So, Spectrum Internet is jacking the price up to $79, and that's just for basic internet. No TV, nothing special. So what I'm going to try to do is contact them. I'm going to call Space to double what it was a month. And they're probably going to tell me that the $49 was a promotional, 1 year or whatever, promotional internet. And, when I had it at $19, it was because the government, was paying half of it. And now it's at its normal price of $79. $79 just for internet to me seems really high, you know. But the thing is, there's really no competition for them. I was looking around, and there really is no other company other than maybe the phone company, and even they may have about the same price. But I'm going to try to call around. I'm going to look around to see if there's any other options. There are cell phone options where they sell internet for, like, they're saying like $45 a month, but then you're limited to 4 or 5G speed, which is like about 20 megabits. And, you know, with the Spectrum internet, it's about 100 megabits or more. So the speed would be cut down to 1/4 or 1/5 the speed. And that might be a problem if you're trying to stream everything, you know, when you're streaming things on the TV and on the computer and everything. So they pretty much have a monopoly on it, you know, the internet providers. And in this area, it's Spectrum. But I'm going to call them and see if they have any promotions going on. They're going to say, oh, you can get the TV packet. You get the TV and the internet for only $129 a month. I'm trying to get it down lower. I don't need the TV packet. I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube. I watch other streaming, you know, videos and stuff. So I don't know how that's going to go, but I think what I need to do before I call them is I need to find a backup. Like, if they won't budge on the price, if they insist on trying to charge me $69 a month, I'm probably going to say, well, if you can't go lower, I'll have to cancel, and then I will find another provider. So we'll see what happens. But before I call them to complain about the price, I will need to have another one lined up, because I suspect they're not going to back down. But if they do back down, I'll let you guys know, you know, how I approached it, how I talked to them. But the plan will be to call them and say, hey, you know, is there anything you can do to lower the price? I can't afford the $69, and we'll be forced to look for another provider and see if they are willing to cut me a deal. And if they're not, I'll have to find another provider, even if it's at a slower internet speed. And if it is a slower internet speed, then hopefully it's enough to stream video, you know, from like YouTube or whatever. I probably won't be able to do gaming streams where I stream myself playing games. It would be too slow, I think. Not that I do any gaming streams right now. Oh, we're back in the musical road again. Can you hear it? I think I'm going to get out of this lane, because by the time I get out, it'll be over. The song will be over. All right, we left the singing road. Now, as far as making money, that is a big thing on me right now. I have enough income right now that I'm fine. Honestly, other than child support, which is I'm still having to pay child support, and student loans, okay? Other than that, my expenditure is minimal. You know, just food, water, electricity, and taxes. And even if I didn't have my job, which would happen if I quit, you know, if I retire, I still have enough income coming in to cover that. Where I'm taking the risk of gambling and stuff is because I don't want to simply just retire and stay in my little mobile home and, you know, just do nothing. Just sit there stuck at the house. What I want to do is travel the world, and that's why you're seeing me do these extreme measures, like looking at gambling. You know, the problem is so far it hasn't been working out, and I'm at the point of about to give up, because, you know, to do it professionally, you have to make money. You have to make more than you lose, and that's not happening. And if that doesn't happen, I don't know what I'm going to do. It might mean accepting the fact that I'm just going to end up having to work and not ever really retire, which is what's happening to most people right now. A lot of people are finding that they can't really retire, because when they do retire, they have to keep working just to make ends meet, you know? Walmart, you know? I don't want to do that. I want to be able to travel, and I want to be able to do things and not just work to live, to work. So while I have the extra income from my job right now, I'm using this to try to make more money. And to that end, everything I've touched has gone bad. You know, the only thing that may not have lost too much value is the land that I have, but it's swampland. You know, off-grid swampland out in Florida, which I'm not sure anyone wants. So I might try to sell it. I kind of tried to sell it, but it didn't seem like there was too much interest in swampland. Now, actually, there are a lot of people interested in it. They just don't want to pay what I paid for it, and I want what I paid for it, maybe a little bit more, you know. And it's not critical that I sell it, so I'm not in a rush to sell it. So I'm kind of holding on to it, but honestly, I kind of wish I hadn't bought it. I mean, I bought it before I bought the house, because the thought would be that I would, you know, quit, and if I had to, I'd go live in the woods. I'd build my little hut out there on my off-grid land and just live out there. But that wasn't my first choice. My first choice is to live, you know, in a city, not in a big city or anything, but in a town where you have access to stuff, where you don't have to go hunting for wild hogs for dinner. You know, you can just go to Aldi's or Thrifty or Walmart or whatever and just pick it up already prepackaged and butchered. So I got the house, and now I have the land, and I'm like, I don't need the land. So if any of you looking for off-grid land in Florida, let me know. I'll cut you a deal on it. Okay? And the thing is, I will warn you, you really need a 4x4 vehicle to get out there. And even then, you know, be prepared. Sometimes the way out there is flooded, so you're going to be running through like water and mud and muck and all that to get out there. They have like a road that's made out of dirt, but it washes out and it floods. So, but there are people that are living out there full time. They have their own solar panels or generators or whatever, and they live out there. You're not allowed to build anything with a foundation, but people have built like camps out there. Like some houses have been built out there, look like A-frames and stuff. I mean, they're full-size houses. And officially, I don't think they're allowed to do that, but the county doesn't seem to be cracking down on it. You know, I guess officially, because they don't have a foundation, they can get away with it. They call it a camp, you know, because the area right now, the people who own it are using it for recreation and hunting. It's like over 10,000 acres. So, you know, you can go hunting out there. You're allowed to hunt, allowed to go with ATVs and stuff like that. And of course, you can fish out there. You can, you know, basically you can live out there. And people do live out there. But like I said, I don't really want that. I want the ability to just go to Publix or Walmart or whatever and just get my food. I'm not, you've seen me in survival mode, but I'm not a survivalist. You know, some people get off on that. Some people enjoy, it's like some of the YouTube channels, and some of them, I don't know if they're real or not. I think some of them are real, some of them are fake, but they're into this survival mentality of you want to go hunting and trapping your own food and spear fishing and doing all that wild stuff. Me, I'm like, you know, I'd rather make money off gambling or off stocks or something, or off a regular job, and then just walk up to the refrigerator or the freezer section and grab the meat I want and then take it to a cashier and ring it out. That to me is survival, not looking for dead branches or broken branches and saying, I see a hog went through here, and then shooting them with a bow and arrow or something. Because I see survivalists who use guns, but then I'm like, if you use guns, you're going to run out of bullets unless you know how to make gunpowder and make your own bullets. You know, really, if you want to be self-sufficient, unless you're like, well, you're going to have, you know, thousands of bullets or whatever for your gun, and you know how to repair your gun if it breaks. For me, if you're truly wanting to survive, you really need to go kind of primitive, unless you know how to make bullets, you know, or refill bullets, you know, reuse them. You pretty much might want to do like bow and arrow or something like that, you know, that you can make yourself. And even if you get it like a bow and arrow, if you can't make your own arrows, you know, after a while they break, you know, or they disappear, get lost, whatever. So I would think, for me, if I'm doing something like that, bow and arrow, maybe a crossbow, all handmade or handmade with handmade arrows or quivers. That way you can make it yourself and you don't run out. But for me, I think a weapon of choice, if you want to call it that, for hunting, because I don't think I'd hunt anything too big, would be a slingshot. You know, because a slingshot, that is technology that I could actually make, you know, and with a slingshot, I could probably hit like a cat-sized animal. Not that I'd go around hunting cats. But I could hit a small animal and possibly take it out with a rock, you know, with a slingshot. Hit a lizard. You know, we have those lizards, those giant iguanas that are all wild in Florida now. Cause people buy all these exotic pets, like the with the boa constrictors, I think. You know, the Asian constrictors. They buy them from the pet shops, exotic pets, and then they got to get rid of them for some reason and let them out into the wilds. And now Florida's full of those things. And I think every year, annually, they have they allow a hunt in the Everglades where you're allowed to just go there and kill them and take them out. They have competitions and you win money for however many you can round up. So basically, for me, survival is having enough money to buy food and everything you need, not really going out there and hunting your own food. But if you could do that, you know, it's a good thing. But I think that's a little extreme. I see some people who try to do survival, but they set up for like a gas generator, and I'm like, you know, what are you going to do when you run out of gasoline? If you can't make gasoline or, you know, have fuel for your generation of electricity or whatever, you're not going to be able to survive. Now, I think, like, if you were trying to survive, you really want to go more towards primitive technology, because primitive technology is like, you know, using the sun, the air, the wind, wood, burning wood, you know. I myself like electricity. So for me, if I was building a survival situation, I would want to generate electricity. And having solar panels and stuff would be useful and helpful. But even with solar panels, you know, they do go bad. You have to know how to repair them. And if you can't repair them, you're out of electricity that's being generated with the solar panels. And it's not just the solar panels. You got batteries and all that other stuff that goes with it. Those are expensive, and they break and they wear out and they don't work. So the best strategy is probably wood, you know, but maybe having solar. But if you could figure out how to have batteries or make batteries, battery technology, then the solar is a little bit more useful. Or if you can just use like water, you know, the motion of water to generate motion, like a spinning motion, with that you can make a generator to generate electricity. But, you know, storing it, you still need batteries. And you know, some of you say, well, you could buy a whole bunch of batteries and store them. But, you know, batteries, when they sit and aren't charged, they tend to go bad. You got to keep them charged. So I don't know how long you can store batteries. They would go bad. But if you were a true survivalist and you did stuff that was primitive, like living in woods with a spear and bow and arrow and making your own fire, you know how to make fire, you could live like the primitive people. And the closer you are to that, the better chance you have of surviving. But then the question is, do you want to survive like that? Is that the kind of life you want to live? I see so many people prep. I guess they're called preppers, where they prep for, like, there's going to be a nuclear disaster, a nuclear war or something, and they prep for all this. But I look at their preparations, and it still has a lot of high technology in it. And I'm like, stuff will break and stuff won't work, and unless you can fix it, it's not going to do any good. But the other problem is, what kind of world are you going to be prepping for, and what will the world be like? And, I see them with really high-end gadgets and everything, but if the world fell apart, there is no more society, there's no more of this stuff. They're going to be out there with their high-end gadgets that when they break down, how are they going to get it fixed? Or like with their preparation, they have cars. As part of their preparation, they have cars that run off gasoline. And then they say, well, I got 500 gallons of gas, or I have 1,000 gallons of gasoline. Well, how long is that going to last you? And then what do you do when you run out? If you're relying upon refined things like gasoline or electricity, electricity can generate, and maybe solar panels might last 10, 15, 20 years. But batteries, I don't know if batteries will last that long. And if you cannot fix those things or make them work, then you're not going to be much of a survivalist when society falls apart. And if society falls apart, can you really live without all the conveniences and stuff that you're used to, like Wi-Fi and internet and everything else that you need? I think the true survivalists are going to be those people who already live like that. Like the swamp people. They live out there. They don't have electricity. They hunt their own food. They eat like swamp rats and alligators. And they hunt. They might even use bow and arrow and stuff. Some of them may use guns, but even without guns, they make arrows and stuff. Those people are the ones that you see that will survive. But what kind of world is it going to be? I don't know. I think if I knew the world was going to end for sure, if I knew the world was going to end, I don't think I'd want to be one of the survivalists. I wouldn't choose to try to survive in a world that's going to be very harsh. Think about it. People, my shoulder, my frozen shoulder, without knowing about PT and having a PT specialist and people to help me try to get better, it would be a lot worse, and maybe I would never fully heal and get my arm back. So I don't know if I want to live in a world where you truly had to survive, you truly had to be tough. I think I might be one of the ones that would be willingly dying right up front. Not that I'd take myself out or anything, but I wouldn't go out of my way to try to survive and then be in a situation where other people might kill me because they're trying to survive, and they feel like they have bullets and guns, but their bullets and guns are going to run out eventually. Now I'm going to read some of your comments and I'm going to sign out. Hey Janet, good to see you on here. I hope you're doing better. So she's got backups to back up her backup. Power and food. Yeah, you gotta have backups. I was hoping, I'm debating if I want to get another van and then deck it out for travel. If I have to adapt my travel, I might have to cut it down to doing travel in the United States, or mostly local or semi-local travel, which would mean living in a van again. But my wife doesn't want to live in a van, but maybe I can get her to travel and stay and camp for a couple days in a van. But really, I want to ride an elephant in Thailand. I want to be on the pyramid in Egypt. I'm tired of just seeing that on the internet or in magazines and books. I want to be there. This is our world. And some people say, well, you can't always have everything you want. I truly believe that if you want something bad enough and you formulate a plan and you start heading there, there's two things that can happen. Either you make it or you don't. And if you don't, at least you tried. If you don't try, you don't even make it. So if there's something you really want in your life and you want it bad enough and you work towards it, there's a chance you're going to reach it. And some people might laugh, and like right now, one of my goals is to win the big lottery. Some people tell me that's wishful thinking and not a goal. It's a goal when you buy the lottery ticket. I don't buy like 100 of them. I buy one, maybe two, if it's really big. Like the last one I didn't get was $600 million, $650 million. And I spent $6 to try to get $650 million. I know a lot of people say that's just throwing money away, and it is. But there's a shot, and it's a very long shot. If I don't even buy the ticket, my chance of winning the lottery is 0. If I buy a ticket for $3, my lottery is almost 0, but not 0. I have that 0.0 1 billionth chance of winning, but it's a chance. And for $3, I might be willing to risk it. Now, I wouldn't buy $300 worth of tickets. I wouldn't even buy 20. I might spend 20, but I doubt it. Getting like 5 or 6 tickets really isn't going to make much more difference than getting one ticket. Although last time I did fall for it, and I bought 2 tickets. Neither one won. But that might be my big break, and it's gambling again. So I think Denoy's a gambler. I look at it. My whole strategy in life, my whole strategy for success is to gamble and win big. That's my goal. An inspirational nomad. Thank you again, man. If you guys don't know Inspirational Nomad, take a look at his site. He has a lot of insightful thoughts and ideas, and he lets you know bluntly what his thoughts are. And a lot of his thoughts are actually very good. And he shares with you his beliefs. And I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says and stuff, but he believes it. And I think that's the secret is you've got to believe in yourself. You got to have something to believe in and work towards. And Inspirational Nomad, I think, has a really good name for himself because he is, he lived a nomadic life, and he has been an inspiration. His channel is actually growing pretty good right now. And I know some people, harp on him getting donations or people sending money to him and stuff. People are sending it because they want to. They find the content that he puts out useful. It makes their life better. And when other people rag on that, I'm like, what's your problem? He's not forcing you to do it. He's not even asking, I mean, sometimes he asks people if they find the content useful. But, if you find something useful and it makes your life better and possibly even earns you more money, wouldn't you want to thank the person that helped you? If you are on Inspirational Nomad's channel and you give him money, that's your choice. I don't know why anyone else would be upset about that. You don't want to give him money, don't give him money. But those other people, they find value in what he teaches, what he preaches, and how he lives and how he shares. He shares his stories and his own experiences, good or bad, and that can save somebody. Believe it or not, it's better to learn some of the stuff I've shared on here, as well as the stuff that Sam from Inspirational Nomad has shared. It's better to get it third person than to go through it yourself. Because when you go through it yourself, it's really bad. Sometimes it's so bad, you get into a dark place. And if somebody is willing to share their failures as well as their successes and stuff, you could benefit from learning of possible failures. It doesn't mean that it'll happen to you, but if you learn what mistakes they made, you could possibly avoid it yourself. And if they share with you successful strategies and you jump to the successful strategies, they just saved you a ton of heartache, money, and time. And, I think that people that pay him or want to pay him and donate, they understand the value that someone like Sam gives them. And I think he's worth every penny that he earns. Some people think that when you make money off YouTube or social media, whatever, you're begging. No, it's like a subscription. Some people were saying, I heard people complaining because they were saying, like, sometimes when he does his live streams, it's only for members. That's his prerogative. And as a matter of fact, that's a motivation for those people who want to be members and be able to chat with him openly. Now, I don't do all that and stuff because I'm not really pushing YouTube. My YouTube channel right now is mostly friends on here. I'm not really trying to promote making a lot of money on YouTube, although I still make some, But I'm debating if I want to use YouTube to make money, but not so much off subscriptions or anything like that, but off advertisers. That's been the big thing for me, is trying to grow the channel to the point where videos are getting like 20, 50, 100,000 views. If you're getting 50,000 to 100,000 views, you can make a living off YouTube from advertisements. Now, even those people, they'll sometimes have merchandise, which we tried on here, it failed. Probably because I didn't put my heart and soul into it. But that may be an option for me to try to make money, semi-steady income for traveling the world. But it means really putting conscientious effort into growing this channel and promoting it and promoting the audience and promoting getting the views. And, sadly, the content that I put out, you can see they don't get that much views because it's mostly friends, people that are on here that feel like they know me and I kind of know them. So I'd have to produce stuff that's more either mainstream type stuff or weird content or shocking content that makes people click, or just produce really nice content because the contents that get big on YouTube, typically they do produce, they have production, editing skills. They treat it like a business. So that is an option for me other than gambling, and I am looking at that too. So not all roads lead to gambling, but gambling is the fastest, easiest way, but it's also the long shot. And a lot of people don't believe in the long shot. I believe in taking a long shot as long as you understand it's a long shot. You don't put everything into the long shot. You devote, like I'm looking at YouTube and trying to figure out what I can do that I'm good at on YouTube that people actually want to watch. If you have ideas of what I can do on YouTube that you think people would watch, feel free to comment about it, post on it. I'm looking for ideas so that when I retire from working, I can still work on YouTube, as long as it doesn't become overbearing. Anyhow, it is good to see you all on here. I want to thank you all for joining me. Inspiration says he loved my DoorDash videos. It was mostly sitting around and not getting paid that much. I don't know anyone. I guess there are some people. It depends on the area. Sam, I think it depends on your area. In Brevard County, where I live, a lot of people don't use stuff like DoorDash. I think there's some people that do, but I think you're better off in a city like Orlando or South Florida, because those areas generally pay more. So when I say pay more, I mean when the people work, they get paid more. Brevard County, where I am, it's like barely minimum, barely. I think that they're paying minimum wage in a lot of places, even with everything that's gone bad, and how employers are having to raise their prices to attract workers. I think they're still paying people about $9 or $10 an hour over here in Brevard, and the state minimum wage is like $8.50. I think Brevard starts you off at like $9.50. When I was working as a temp, at those agencies doing all the temp work, I was making anywhere from $9.50 to $10.50 an hour. That's all I was making. And of course, child support and everything was wiping it all out. Um, the job I have now is paying a little bit better, but not much better. I'm a janitor, but it's okay. I make enough. But most jobs in this area are very bad. South Florida pays more. So, but it also costs more to live down there. I was just talking to some Puerto Rican workers. They were working installing an elevator at the area where I work, and he was talking about how everyone in Puerto Rico says you should go to America where you make a lot of money. What they don't realize is when you come to America and you make more than you do in Puerto Rico, the cost of living here costs way more than the cost of living in Puerto Rico. So the money that you make here is actually less than what you make in Puerto Rico for the cost of living. So, if you make the money here and you send it back to Puerto Rico or overseas or somewhere where it's cheaper to live, those people there, they go, wow, this is a lot of money. They do well because their cost of living is so low. But in this area now, it's hard to rent even like a 1-bedroom apartment or something for under, $1,400-$1,500 a month. And when you're getting paid only like $10, $11 an hour, that's not enough, And so it's like a bad situation. That's why I'm very fortunate to have gotten the house I got. I bought it. I bought it for probably, let's see, about 4 or 5 times lower than market value. I bought it for maybe 20% of market value. So, but you saw what it looked like. I basically had a dog poo-poo house. So, but with some sweat, some sweat equity and hard work and a little bit of money, I was able to fix it to where it's habitable. It's not the best house in the world, but I own it fully. I don't have to pay a monthly fee. I don't have to pay a mortgage. And, the electricity and the water utilities are really cheap. It's nice. It's nice to know that I have a base of operations, and from here, I might be able to make more money because I'm no longer just sitting in a Walmart parking lot somewhere, trying not to get shot because people get shot at Walmart, So I need to take advantage of that. I guess in some ways I've been kind of spoiled for the last year since the house has been semi-done. I've kind of just sat back, But I think I really need to get off my butt and get motivated. So maybe I need to watch more of Sam on Inspirational Nomad, get off my ass and make some more money. Janice says she's ecstatic to have 204 subscribers. The fact that people are willing to listen to you and follow you and watch your videos and stuff means that, you're important. And the information that you share is of value to somebody. And they realize that and they watch it and they learn, or they just enjoy your company. And, to me, YouTube's kind of interesting because anybody can suddenly make a channel and just start publishing themselves. There's some bad sides to it when you get the trolls and the haters and all of the weird stuff, but we won't go there. But for the most part, everybody has an opportunity with YouTube to become somebody. And maybe, you won't become like one of those big multi-million subscriber channels, but it's okay. As long as the channel is something you enjoy doing, and, some people, a small group actually get to the point where they get monetized, it can become potentially like a lottery winning, because if you can be popular at what you do, you can make a living on it, Certain genres and certain people are in better positions, but everybody on YouTube has that opportunity, that shot, that long shot. And I'm like fortunate that this channel got monetized. I'm just trying to figure out, what am I? What is this channel? How can I make a living on it? Right now, I probably get about 150 bucks a month off YouTube for my videos, which is like pretty much nothing, but it's something. 150 bucks is 150 bucks. That's close to 2,000 a year. That's enough for a trip somewhere. So, and I don't really put too much effort into my videos. So maybe if I start giving serious thoughts to YouTube and thinking of what I could do, maybe I could make money on this, with YouTube, and actually hit my retirement goal of being able to travel the world and do all the stuff I want to do. I think if I was on top of the pyramid filming right now, I might get more views. So it's like a catch-22. To get to the point where I can film myself on an elephant, doing really cool stuff in Thailand, I have to have enough money. To get enough money, I need to make more money off YouTube or whatever. So we're trying different things. And as you know, this channel has always been about experimenting, what works, what doesn't work, so that you can learn from it. If it works, you see what works, so you can avoid all the crap that didn't work. Inspiration says, if your house is close to SpaceX or the defense contractors, that property will go up. Actually, this whole area has gone way up. This area used to be kind of dead and old. With SpaceX and all the new, what's his name is here too, Amazon, with, they have Blue Origins is here, that's Amazon. There's a lot of the space industry here really, really picked up. So anybody here in the area, but here's the thing, here's the catch. A lot of the people you see working in the space industry, they don't necessarily live here. Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of the people that are in the space industry live in other parts of the United States, as far as California, Colorado, even up, in different states. And what happens is they manufacture their satellites and whatnot over there, or here or whatever, but they send them here to launch, because the launch sites are usually here or in Texas or in California. And Florida right now has most of the launches. SpaceX is building their own facility out at the Cape. You've seen from my house how close I am. We actually get to watch all the launches. We can see it every day when they go up, and it shakes the houses. That's how close we are. So this area where I live right now, it's actually low income. So, but even it being low income, all the values have gone up. And I know my house is worth at least 5 times more than I paid for it, but I wouldn't sell it, because if I sold it for 5 times more what I paid for it, I couldn't find another house for that price. You understand? If I sold my house for 5 times what I paid for it, it seems like a great deal, but I won't be able to find another house for that price. I'll be homeless again. Now, I am thinking of trying to save some money again, because you have to pay cash when you try to buy stuff at bargain basement prices, when you try to buy property. So I might try to save some more money and then buy some more property if I can, knowing what I know now from buying a tax deed property, buying another tax deed property that I might fix up and sell, or just buying it and flipping it. Like maybe I buy it really cheap and flip it for 2 or 3 times the price. And some people say, well, kind of bad flipping. Yeah, but the problem is, if I didn't buy it, somebody else would, and they might fix it up and then sell it for, 20 times what they paid for it. But, when you buy something and you flip it, I know some people get upset with flippers and stuff, but, the people who are buying it, they think that property has value. So just because you don't think something has value doesn't mean it doesn't have value. To somebody else, it may have a great value. Like I said, like with Inspirational Nomad on his channel, there are people who subscribe to him, who give him the super thanks and all that. And some people say they're dumb. I don't think they're dumb. They just understand value. They understand his value and what he provides for them. Either whether it be guidance on a topic or inspiration, or just the fact that, honestly, sometimes when I listen to Sam talk to his viewers and stuff, he seems almost like a psychiatrist or a psychologist. When you pay, and they charge you like $200 or $300 an hour. If you have to see a therapist, and you have to go get therapy because you're struggling with your life, or you need a life planner or a life guider or whatever they call them, a life coach, they might charge you as much as $200 or $300 an hour. So Sam provides some of that for some of those people. He gives them guidance, personal guidance sometimes, and he doesn't charge them anything. They kind of just give them money, when they feel that it was worth it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I get kind of a little bit annoyed when people say that he's ripping people off. I don't see him ripping anybody off. I think people are choosing to do what they do, and because they have that value, they feel like he has value. Anyhow, I am going to go ahead and sign out. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are. Remember, if money is tight, you can still buy things if you know where to look, such as houses, by looking for foreclosed homes, tax deed homes. To find out how, contact your county. Contact your county property appraiser's office and say, hey, I'm interested in buying tax deed homes. How do I go about doing that? And they will steer you in the right direction. Some counties now go through a service where they're all like on one website, like I can give you the link for the one I use if you want. But some counties still do it manually. Like they actually meet in person and stand in front of the house and do bidding or whatever. But a lot of them are online now. But the big advice I can tell you is, do not bid on a house that you did not see physically with your own eyes. Even if they have pictures on the website of the house, it might be old pictures. The house may be burned down. Do not buy it without being there in person and seeing exactly what it looks like. And also, even with my house, it looked fine outside. Remember that you're buying a house at bargain. Inside might be totally trashed. So beware. But, also be aware that by buying like that, you could save 70% off the purchase price. So 90% of YouTube creator revenue come from AdSense, not from Super Chats or membership. Yeah, a lot of people get it from the ad revenue. And I noticed, like, the bigger YouTubers, they have less advertising on there. They usually have like 1 or 2 ads on their videos because they get millions of views. So I do appreciate all my viewers who actually sit through the ads and stuff. Smaller channels like me typically have more ads on our videos because we don't generate as many views. And it kind of ties together, though, I think. I think the less ads you have, the more chance you have of views. But I think the biggest draw of it is your content, whether or not you can attract people. Maybe we'll do a video and talk about that. But if you guys have ideas for videos that you think I'd be good at, not DoorDash. I don't want to do that anymore. I did it when I was stuck living in the car. I did it, but when you look at the wear and tear on your car and the fact that you drive over there and you do all that and then you get like $3, which, if you do 10 of them, that's 10 of them in an hour, that's $30 an hour. But how many, usually in an hour, you might get about 4 or 5 that you could squeeze in there, So 5 times 3 is $15 an hour. But then you got wear and tear on your car. I don't know if it's worth it. Living in Brevard County videos would be good. Yeah, it could be. But a lot of people here know me. You know what's weird? On YouTube, when you tag different locations and stuff, obviously people see you from those counties or those cities. So sometimes I get recognized in counties I've never been to. Like I've been, I went by that one park by Lake Nona where the VA thing is, because I stop by there sometimes, and the sheriff there knew me. I came up and says, hey, Denoy. And I'm like, oh no, he knows me by name. So the thing about YouTube is you never know who's watching. And hopefully, if you're doing stuff like living in a van, the police in the local town are watching you, because then when they see you, they usually, most police, usually if they know you and they know you're not going to do anything bad because they've watched your YouTube channel, they're usually nice, so. And you guys have seen like Officer Rodriguez here in Melbourne, the city of I think it's Melbourne. I think he's in Melbourne, not West Melbourne, but Melbourne. He was really nice. And when the police know that people living in a van, as long as you're not doing anything bad and stuff like that, they tend to be nice. And then also having a channel like this, it kind of shows them, the city planners and stuff like that, situations that people go through and how they can help people by just leaving the bathroom open, like at the park. I know a lot of cities, to cut down on, bad things, they'll lock the park at night, which to me is kind of evil. It's like, why would you do that? When I know that they do it, they say for safety and to keep the drug dealers and stuff away and whatnot, but really they're doing it to keep van dwellers and other people who need it at night. And or to keep the homeless people out. And I'm like, those people are homeless. You as a city, as a government, should be helping to take care of them, not putting spikes down under the bridge so they can't sleep. Yeah, what are you not human? I start to wonder about the government when they start doing stuff like that. It's like, there are a lot of people living under the bridge, so to fix this problem, we're going to put spikes under the bridge so they can't lay down. But we're not going to do anything with trying to get those people back into homes and stuff where they can function and maybe work and become part of society again. And when you have a government that works like that, I start to wonder if we've lost our humanity, and maybe the end of the world needs to come sooner than later. But, like I said, there are certain cities where I see they leave the electricity on at the picnic tables. South Florida is pretty good for that. I think usually in richer areas that have more money, they generally leave electricity on because they don't have as many people, the people using it are all rich people, taxpayers that go there and they want to set up a barbecue or whatever at the picnic pavilion. But generally when they leave it on, a van dweller can go and use it. And I've gone and used it while I lived in the van, and I asked the park ranger if it was okay, and they said it was fine. As long as I didn't camp out there and look like I was living there. I could cook my rice, and a little meal with my rice cooker, and it wasn't an issue. And I think when cities behave like that, there's hope for humanity. When they start looking at you because you're homeless as if you're doing that by choice, I think the majority of people who are homeless aren't doing it by choice. If they're homeless, it's not by choice. A few people may choose it, they might choose that kind of life because they don't want to do anything, as far as getting a home and stuff, and they're happy with being on the streets. But I would say probably more than 95% of the people who are homeless are there because of circumstances, either bad luck or just bad situations put them there, and they're having a hard time getting out. And if you're a city planner, police, or any of the services and stuff for the public and stuff, and you understand that, then your goal isn't to put spikes there so they don't even have a place to sleep. Your goal should be to help them get into transitional housing and work and mental health. A lot of people who are homeless are mentally ill. Even myself, had some mental issues, still do. Everybody does. But I think when people realize that, they can actually try to resolve the problems. Inspirational message in his experience, the majority is by choice, drug or extreme mental problems, and they don't want to get help. Yeah, a lot of them you see are like that. The truly mentally ill. I don't know if you guys remember, like with Sherry and stuff, she was prostituting herself out there. You remember the early days of my channel when I was actually living in the van? I kind of hung out a lot with the homeless people. Not because I associated with them, but because I was trying to help. I had the ability to cook food in my van, so I would cook food for the homeless, and I would go over to their little camps and bring them like breakfast, like eggs and rice and stuff. and sausages and things like that. Try to get them some warm food. But a lot of them I saw were, they actually got more money than me. They qualified for a disability. So they get their disability payment, which is roughly 790 a month or so here in Florida. So they get about $700, $800 a month, and they get food stamps, which was valued at about $200. So roughly $1,000 a month they were getting. And but they use a lot of the money that they get on buying drugs, so that's, but see, that's an addiction. And I think if you can get them off the streets and off that addiction, they can become productive, but some people are not going to be productive. They just aren't productive. There's people who just choose not to work, and I don't know what to do about those. But I say this: even if it's only 5 or 10% that are homeless, not by choice but by circumstance. I'm getting one of those scam phone calls again. Sorry about that, but scam phone calls left and right. But anyhow, even if you could save the 5% or 10% that's there, not by choice but by circumstance, that reduces the homeless situation, and also you're saving some lives. I'm so grateful for the people that stepped in to help me, because I couldn't. When you're in that situation, it's like impossible to get out on your own. The poor get poorer, the homeless get more homeless. That's how it happens. You need somebody who's in a little bit more stable environment to reach out. But of course, some of you saw it was kind of dangerous. I don't even remember the other girl. I forget what her name was. That one girl that we helped. I found her at the park, sleeping in the slide thingy, and she was crying and out there, and she's supposed to go to court and stuff. So I put her up for the night and gave her some money, and then I think her pimp called me. He was like, "Who the hell are you, and why are you giving her money and all this?" Because I guess he thought I was another pimp stepping in. But I said I didn't know her. I was just a YouTuber, and I'm just trying to help her out. But I don't know if I told you what happened afterwards, but the hotel room the next day, they charged me like $200 more for the room because they said there was blood everywhere. I'm hoping nothing really happened to her. I'm thinking maybe she had her period or something and just bled all over the bed. But yeah, they said the next day, well, they said they saw her check out, so she was okay, intact, when she checked out. But there was blood all over the bed, all over the sheets. So they charged me like $200 in addition to the hotel room that night. And I was like, I hope I didn't cause more trouble for her, trying to help her out. Because like sometimes when people are in that situation, if it's a girl and there's a pimp, he could end up beating the crap out of her or even killing her, So that's why you don't see me really stepping in too much to help. And there was another guy, remember the guy that we helped him build his bus? Then he got in the hospital, and everyone was trying to help him, steer towards getting his heart dealt with, because he could have a heart attack. He got really angry and started cussing me out and everything, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't do direct help like that anymore, just because it's dangerous. And also, it seems like a lot of the people, like Sam was saying, they have mental health issues, and unless you're a mental health specialist, you kind of put yourself in danger when you drop down at that level one-on-one on the street helping them, because they could end up pulling a knife or a gun on you and it's over just like that. So you don't see me approaching the homeless like that too much anymore. I used to do it more when I was I guess I was more optimistic that I could help people directly by going one-on-one with them and helping them build out their vehicle, trying to help them get services and stuff like that. Now I might stop every once in a while and give them a little bit of money, not a lot, but like maybe 5, 10, 20 bucks, but I won't really try to put them up in a hotel room and do all that stuff anymore, just because it could have caused trouble for them, but it could also cause trouble for me. And having gone through it and seeing the results, I understand now why a lot of people just don't help. The helping becomes a danger. And I do believe in helping still, so I donate money and stuff to certain outreaches and stuff like that. But I try not to go personally right up face to face and help in that way, just because it's dangerous. Inspiration No Nomad says an angel of God was protecting me in some of the dangerous environments, especially out in the woods. Yeah, I look back now, some people thought I was faking it when I was out in the woods and sleeping and stuff in the yurt. No, that was all real. And people were shooting bullets. They were hunting out there, shooting at animals. They could have shot and hit me while I was out there in my yurt or my hut. And also, there were real cougars, Florida panthers and stuff running around. Some of you heard the growl and saw me film the mama panther. They were all out there for real. And of course, snakes and all sorts of danger, spiders. It was all real. And I think to myself, I'm like, I actually lived through all that. It's unbelievable. If I look back at it now, and it's almost like a different person. I'm like, what the heck, man? This guy was nuts. This guy was building a yurt out of frond leaves. How crazy is that? And actually slept out there in that environment. And some of you are like, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself in danger like that? I didn't have a choice. I had some viewers comment to me. They said, Denoy, your old videos were a lot more interesting. Yeah, because if I failed, I died for real. The broadcast would stop. It wasn't like I could go sit in the yurt and then afterwards go sit in my house. It was like I was sitting in the yurt, and when the hurricane came or whatever, I was out there. I was either in the yurt or in the car or whatever. And if I didn't make it, I didn't make it. And when it's that kind of situation, it might be more interesting. And some people were complaining about the camera work. I'm like, dude, I had $3 in my pocket. I had a pay-as-you-go track phone. That's how we started. I had a pay-as-you-go track phone and $3 in my pocket. And I don't know if you guys remember, I couldn't even upload